All right, good evening, everyone. This is Sheena, your Caribbean College planner and student advisor at the Student Center. Apologies for the late start, but welcome to our first webinar for the year. We are back with our usually monthly webinars, bringing you options and great information from schools from all over the world. With me this evening, our focus this evening is going to be on studying abroad affordably. And we know that studying abroad can be a very expensive venture, and we try our best to bring you affordable options to make the experience pretty much realistic. And to do so, I have invited some special colleagues of mine to talk to you about different pathways, different options available to you as Caribbean students on how to do so. This evening, I am joined by Sarah from Brock University out in St. Catharines in Ontario. She's near Niagara Falls, representing Brock University. Then I have Nick. He's from Campbelltown College, located out in Victoria in British Columbia. And last and definitely not least is Kelsey Weaver joining us from Franklin College out in Franklin, Indiana, in the United States. Now, they're going to each present to you options that are affordable options for you to pursue higher education. We're going to start off first with Nick from Campbelltown, followed by Sarah from Brock, and then Kelsey will tell us about opportunities for Franklin. If you're peeping in on Facebook or you're joining us on Zoom, feel free to send us any queries using the chat or Q&A sections in your Zoom panels, or if you're on Facebook, you can send it using the comment section. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Nick, who's going to get us started. Over to you, Nick. Thanks for joining me this evening.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much. My name is Nick. I would like to talk to you about Camosun College, located in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. First, about the word Camosun. Camosun it's an Aboriginal, indigenous word that means where two bodies of water, two streams meet and are transformed. When we talk about Camosun, when you hear about Camosun, when you think about Camosun, I would like you to think about island life in a Canadian format. We are located on Vancouver Island, very close to Vancouver and close proximity to nature. Because usually in big cities in Canada, just if you want to get some nature, you have to travel half an hour, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. But in Victoria, it is the capital of the province, but it's also very compact, surrounded by nature, beautiful nature. There's a lot of outdoor enthusiasts, and the whole pace of life is a little bit slower comparing to some other places in Canada. So island life, some illustrations here. Victoria, as I mentioned, is the capital city, very close to Vancouver. We have some of the most moderate weather in Canada. If you pull up the temperatures, you will see that in Toronto, it's -10, in Montreal, -13, and it's +5 in Victoria Celsius right now. So very moderate weather, especially in winter. So if you think about snow, if you think about that's not in Victoria. We have one of the lowest unemployment rates in Canada, and Victoria was actually called top 5 small cities in the world. Camosun College, total 14,000 students. We have a good fair number of international students, around 12% from over 70 different countries. And we have a lot of programs. And today we have updated our PGWP, Post-Graduation Work Permit eligible program list. And there's a fair number of programs there. Our average class size is 35. We have 2 campuses located in the same city. One of the most prominent and interesting programs that we offer as a college is university transfer program, where you either take 2 years associate degree and then you transfer to top universities, not necessarily in Canada, but mostly in Canada. Or you can transfer after year 1. It's a slightly different path, which is we call it university transfer. And you take year 1 and then you transfer year 2, and then you complete 2, 3, and 4 in a top Canadian university. I would like to highlight a few interesting programs. We have 3 programs in information technology, 2-year programs: information and computer systems, interactive media developer, cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is extremely popular program, fills up super fast. We also have engineering technology diplomas in civil, electronics, computer, electrical, and mechanical. Um, a very unique thing, unique to Camolson College, is an engineering bridge where you can, for example, we're talking about affordability. For example, not everybody is able to afford a 4 years of engineering degree. So a good strategy would be to complete a technology diploma, um, potentially immigrate to Canada or get a work permit, and then transition through an engineering bridge to a top university, particularly in this case for civil UBC, University of British Columbia, and electrical UVic, University of Victoria, or UBC or UVic in case of mechanical, and then complete there. We have a lot of students who, by the time they finish the 2-year technology diploma, they already immigrated and they use this bridge to get into university. This way, the technology diploma itself takes only 2.5 years to complete, and this way they're able to eventually end up in university. And total savings and difference in costs overall versus going directly to university for 2 years is 1 year at Camolson College and engineering program is roughly half the tuition of the bigger university. We have amazing sports and exercise education because we kind of a warmer destination in Victoria. A lot of we have an Olympic and Paralympic sport center, so a lot of summer sport athletes actually flying from all over Canada to train in our facility. When it's snowing in Ottawa, when it's snowing in Toronto, 50 centimeters of snow, all these summer sport athletes are in Victoria and they're training there. And that's why our sport programs are amazing. We have business, undergraduate business programs. We're not gonna, everybody has a business. So those are great programs. We have post-degree diplomas in business as well. Something to be proud of. Camolson is British Columbia largest college in terms of co-op programs. A lot of students are taking paid internships. Yes, we have such a thing, paid internship and cooperative semesters, and frequently finding and staying in those jobs after graduation. And this it's a great option if you would like to stay in Canada and work. Admissions. We have rolling admissions, so please apply early. First come, first qualified, first admitted basis. Some of the popular programs may have wait lists. I mentioned cybersecurity, for example. High school graduation is mandatory for somebody who is under 19 years of age. If you are 19 or older, it is not mandatory. Recommended for prerequisite purposes. We require proof of English, and I'm going to talk about it in a moment. And there's some program-specific requirements that you have to meet. So, proof of English. Um, you can see here that it's a great idea where CAPE is not necessarily required for admission to Camolson. You do need it in terms of English, because if you don't have, then if you don't have that level, advanced level, then you have to provide an external test, such as IELTS or TOEFL. If you do have it, great. That's the grade we require for proof of English. Sample budget. So here you can see the tuition for 1 semester, 4 months of most arts and science, business, sports, exercise, and university transfer program for this school year. So as you can see, really affordable. This are Canadian dollars. Living expenses obviously are not included here. Perfect. I made it in 8 minutes. I was allocated 8 minutes and I made it. I was trying to rush. Happy to entertain. This QR code leads to our PDF brochure. PDF brochure. You have any questions? I'll be sticking around, and you can also familiarize yourself with the brochure.
Thank you very much, Nick. We're going to move quickly along to Sarah, who's going to talk to us from a broad perspective, ways that you can study affordably at broad. If we have some questions for you, Nick, regarding the engineering, the transfer pathways to UBC. Those are some interesting ones for engineering, so I'll come back to you on that. But Sarah, over to you.
Thank you, Sheena. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Thank you, and good evening, everyone from Ontario. My name is Sarah, and I'm the International Recruitment at Brock University. And because I've been with Sheena for many presentations talking about Brock, so the purpose of my presentation today will just focus on two of the programs that I think it will be the most beneficial programs for students who are looking for an affordable option going to a university in Canada. So I will just quickly give you some information about where we are and just some information about the university before we go to those two programs. First of all, Brock University is located in the Niagara region, and we are about 30 minutes from the US border, and we are about an hour from Toronto. If you know about Niagara Falls, we are just 20 minutes from the Niagara Falls. Um, Brock University is the only public university in Niagara, and right now we have more than 19,000 students on campus, and we welcome students from more than 110 countries around the world. We are very proud to be number one in Ontario for student satisfaction, and we have 96% of our graduate students can find a job after 6 months of graduation. This is the list of all the programs we are offering right now at Brock. We have more than 70 different undergraduate programs. And if you can have a look here, all the blue squares representing the co-op programs. And as you may know, in Canada, if you take a co-op program, you will be able to work a full-time job during the co-op terms. I'm going to go a little bit further in the next two programs. And here are the two programs I want to focus on today. The first one is our accounting program, and the second one is the nursing program. The reason why I want to focus on those two programs amongst more than 70 different programs is because there are a lot of students now thinking of going to Canada, not just for a degree, but for the job prospect after they graduate. And at Brock, if you come to study those two programs, there is a very high chance that you can find a job because of the way that we develop those programs. So let's talk a little bit about the accounting program. Now, for the Bachelor of Accounting program, we have two options. The first option is that you go for a full 4 years program, or if you have completed a diploma somewhere, you can transfer to us. And usually the maximum credits that you can transfer to Brock is about like 5 to 7 credits. It's about like one or 1.5 year in Canada. So depending on what you want to choose, you complete a Bachelor of Accounting. And the good thing at Brock is that if you have a Bachelor of Accounting at Brock, you just need to take 7 more months to have a Master of Accounting. And then another good thing with our accounting program is that we are fully accredited by CPA Ontario, which means that after you complete our Bachelor of Accounting and Master of Accounting, you are ready to get the final exam of CPA without having to complete any additional modules of CPA Ontario. And as you may know, CPA Ontario is the most important professional certificate in accounting and finance industry. So in short, if you study at Brock, let's say you study a full bachelor degree, you need 4 years for a bachelor degree, 7 months for master degree, and you will have a bachelor degree, master degree, and a CPA Ontario. And that will give you the biggest chance to have a job in accounting industry in Canada, because majority of good jobs in Canada in accounting will require CPA. The second programs that I want to mention to you today is the nursing program, because again, there are so many international students. When you decide to come to Canada, you want to work in healthcare industry. And again, after the pandemic, a lot more demands of the healthcare services in Canada. Now, for our nursing program, the normal Bachelor of Nursing, you still have to complete 4 years before you can take the exam to be an RN or RPN in Canada. But we have another concurrent program we called a concurrent nursing program for anyone who haven't got any bachelor degree in nursing, but you still want to come to Canada to study nursing and become a nurse. So this program will just be in only 20 months or 5 terms. And after you finish this program, you will have a Bachelor of Nursing and a Master of Nursing. And the requirement for this program is that you need to have a previous bachelor degree. Again, there are quite a few different admissions requirements here. If you are interested, I can send you the link. But in short, this is a very good pathway for anyone who has completed a bachelor degree somewhere and want to come to Canada to study nursing in a very short time, and you still can take an exam to be a nurse in Canada. Now, another way to for you to save your money when you come to study in Canada, of course, is like looking for different financial supports. And before going to different scholarships, different kind of financial supports at Brock, I just want to show you how much it will cost at Brock University. Right now, an international student who decided to come to Canada to study at Brock, you will need to pay the international tuition fee of about 40,000 Canadian dollars for 1 year, which is 2 terms. And we guarantee that you can have a room on-campus residence, and the dining or the meal plans is included, so you don't have to worry about cooking. So the total cost for a student at Brock for 1 year is about 60,000 Canadian dollars. But we have quite a few different financial policies to support international students. For example, we have flat fee policy for students. What does it mean by flat fee policy? It means that our tuition fee for a full-time student usually are for 5 credits, which means you will need to register for at least 10 courses. Now, if you want to study more than 5 credits, it's free. So it means that if every year you study one or two more credits, you can see here, let's say one program you have to pay $7,500 for 1 credit. So if, for example, if 1 year you study 2 extra credits, then you can save 15,000 Canadian dollars. This is a very good policy for students who want to complete the program early and save the money. The second policy that we are applying right now for international students is the tuition rate lock, which means that the tuition fee for the whole period of time that you study at Brock will be the same as the first year tuition fee. For example, the first year tuition fee for you is about, let's say, 40,000 Canadian dollars. In year 2, we increased the tuition fee to 45,000. You just need to pay 40,000 because we have already locked the rate comparing to the first year. So you and your family will also know what exactly you have to pay for the coming years. The next financial support, of course, we have so many different scholarships for international students. We have some automatic scholarships. For example, Brock Scholars Awards will be based on your GPA, or the Global Reach Award will be given to anyone, to the first 10 students who accept the offer coming from USA or Caribbean. The biggest scholarship at Brock University is the International Ambassador Awards, and it's up to 29,000 Canadian dollars. Right now, this Ambassador Awards has been open, so if you want to apply, just go ahead and apply. We have a very special scholarship for Caribbean students. We call the Caribbean International Scholarship, and every year we give out 2 scholarships to 2 international students from Caribbean. And besides those like specific programs for international students, we have so many different other programs in our student portals that you can apply. Again, whenever you are ready, please let us know and I will send you further details. Last but not least, I've received a lot of inquiries from students who are asking about the fundings for the graduate degrees. Here at Brock, we have so many different research degrees at master or PhD level. And at Brock, we have many different graduate fellowship or assistantship. And you can see here, this is the example of how much you can get for the funding of different fellowships or assistantships. So at master's level, you can get up to 15,500 Canadian dollars. This is per year. And for PhD, you can get up to 20,500 per year for the PhD level. So I think that's everything for me. Thanks for following all my presentations. And over to you, Shayna.
All right, so far we've had 2 options via Campbelltown College in British Columbia, and we've had Brock in St. Catharines in Ontario, a university and a college. And with Campbelltown looking at if you want to do your diploma, start there, and that's an affordable option, or diploma with the option to transfer to university, which will reduce the cost of your first 2 years go to 4 years. Or we look at Brock via their nursing and accounting programs where there are opportunities for students with a bachelor's already but wanting to move or transfer out. You can get your accounting program in a shorter space of time plus with the professional designation. And then if you already have a science degree but you want to go into nursing, there's a track for you with where you end up, not just with your bachelor's, but your master's in nursing, getting into the system there. So very cost effective, very strategic, given how nursing and being the health care industry is evolving and increasing, and there's a dearth of nurses everywhere in the world. That might be a really good option for persons. And then thanks for those glorious scholarship options. We have our scholarship webinar coming up on February 5th. So I might call you back again, Sarah, to give us those options again. Now we move to the US, and we know the US is still a pretty popular option for Caribbean students who are looking to get that abroad experience. And the one thing why people ask we showcase a lot of overseas schools is well living on a small island anywhere in the Caribbean, are just looking for a different experience. Studying abroad is a natural option when you get to this stage and you're considering what next after secondary school. You might not want to be in the same type of environment at that stage, whether it's at the undergraduate or graduate level. And so it's a very popular option for students from our region. And the US is one of the top 3 study destinations that they tend to look at. And we're happy to have Kelsey from Franklin College in Indiana. She's going to tell us about a special offer available by the Student Center with Franklin College. Thanks to Kelsey for joining me this evening. Over to you.
Thank you so much. I'm going to, I think you guys can see my screen.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. So I'm Kelsey. I'm very excited to be talking with you. Just to kind of start things off, let you know, I myself was an international student. So having to make that decision to leave the United States for my education, to spend quite a number of years living abroad, working abroad, and studying abroad, I do kind of understand sometimes the background of the pressure of what it takes to kind of go through that. So being able to work with international students is truly a dream of mine. So I'm here to tell you a little bit about Franklin College and what we can kind of offer you. So the start off is just this pure, cute video we've got going, but Franklin is very pretty, though I will say I'm a little biased. But we are located in the heart of the Midwest, so there's a lot of parks and a lot of nature paths that are going right through the city. Right on and off campus, you are able to kind of utilize those community spaces and really just invest in the time in the outdoors. But the community itself of Franklin, I think, is very laid back. We're a little bit on the smaller side of things. We're full of mostly farmers and workers. So you get away from the traffic and the loud noise. And truly, in my opinion, you get to sit back and relax and enjoy yourself in the moment. Um, I always like to highlight that Franklin is incredibly safe. Students are, they can know that they can go on and off campus by themselves with a group any time of day or night and feel safe in themselves and their belongings. And because I live in the city of Franklin, this is where I grew up. I'm so happy when I get to see kids, roaming around out on the weekends at the different restaurants and the different stores that are kind of in my area. And it's truly a pleasure that the community of Franklin College is welcomed with open arms to kind of the rest of the city of Franklin in itself. Um, but yeah, so we're located in Franklin, Indiana. We're just off of, the main downtown Indianapolis area. For reference, I would say that the closest major city is Chicago, which is maybe like 3.5 hours away from us. But what's going to kind of set us apart and make us a little different? So we are a fairly small institution. We're a private institution in the United States. We're about 1,000 students enrolled in our undergraduate degrees. And we are getting into the game of international student recruitment and truly investing in what you can bring to our campus. But looking at the classroom and truly your academics, you're going to see it right there in class sizes. All of our professors are leading the lectures with class sizes of about 15, maximum 20 students. So you get a lot of not only one-on-one time, but you're also encouraged to participate in class discussions and truly be a part of this back and forth of your education. I myself learn the most that way. So I think that that's truly amazing that you get to kind of have that as opposed to being in fairly large classes where if you're sitting in the back, the professor may not notice you as much. For the academics, at this moment, we are only recruiting students, international students for our undergraduate degrees. However, we've got about 50 different ones that you can pick and choose from, ranging all the way from the arts and the English and the political science and sociology of life, but also business. Business is a big and booming one. But we also do amazing in our STEM field. So the biology, especially the pre-medical route. We got some amazing pre-medical studies, and our students go on to graduate and go to medical school and do some amazing things. We also do have a nursing program available on campus. That is a separate application process in itself, so that's why I generally don't include it because the cohort is so small, maybe about 6 students per year. However, while academics take up such a huge portion of your time and effort and energy, you also need to think about what are you doing outside of the classroom. And that is where the community that you find in Franklin really excels. Whether it's finding a club or an organization, just to have fun, be with your friends and do a hobby. But there are also tons of different opportunities to further develop you. And that's in community service, in volunteering, doing more for the community. We do so great with that. And I'm so proud when I see students that go on to do 2, 3, 4 different things on top of excelling in their academics. Of course, another big thing for us is sports. You'd be surprised, but over half of the students on campus participate in collegiate sports. But outside of the professional varsity playing for the college team, we just have fun intramural and club sports that you're able to play on and be a part of that. A big part is also physical education programs, and being able to enroll in classes just to learn something fun, like kickboxing or self-defense courses, different things like that. But one thing that is very important for international students to learn about is what are the benefits of being on a student visa in the United States. And that has to do with not only working opportunities while you are a student, but also working opportunities full-time before and after graduation. So starting kind of off the base, you are allowed to work part-time on campus while you are doing your studies. This is something that we do with our international students. We're very proud to offer part-time work while you are on campus. This is something, though, that you have to work out with your advisor, make sure that you are physically ready for it. And then a huge part is the curriculum. We encourage almost all of our students to go out and do an internship opportunity. Usually, I would say within their third year. But this is great because these are paid experiences at USA companies and organizations that are not Franklin College. So if you want to learn how to be an accountant, there's an opportunity for you to go almost anywhere, do an accounting internship, learn everything there is, and then put that on your CV and say, while I was a student, I got this opportunity and here's what I learned. And then postgraduate work, it varies between 1 up to 3 years of a work visa that your employer does not have to sponsor. We are a small institution, but we are mighty when it comes to connections. We've got connections all over the region, all over the United States. And these companies know how well we prepare our students for the workforce and the working world. And that is something that you have time to prepare for. Now, when it comes to specifically support for our international students, I'm going to reiterate again, we are a safe area. We are a safe area. There's fun things to do, and you've got easy access to a lot of major areas. Another thing that I know that international students have to go through is the juggling of housing. So something that we do is, of course, we actually require our international students to live on our campus. Mostly, I will say the area is not set up for off-campus student housing. We're a small institution, it's not really needed. But also, I truly feel like it's needed. You're integrating into a new culture, a new space. You're away from your family, your friends. It can be difficult. So knowing that you've got a family and a support system 5 minutes away from everything that you need is fantastic. And so you can take that time and reinvest it into your hobbies and your activities. But that's great because everything kind of comes together into one flat price for the education, where you get your tuition, housing, and then a full meal plan included in the exclusivity agreement that we've set up with Sheena and her company. Application process is extremely simple on my end, and I'm very thankful that I work with Sheena because it is so simple for setting through the application process, meeting with a student, and getting them an offer of admissions. So if you are even remotely interested in wanting to apply or learning more, the number one thing you can do is reach out to Sheena and say, I listened to that one girl from Franklin. I want to know more. Sheena's got you covered when it comes to that application process. But the big thing, why are we here? This is the money talks. So when you look up Franklin College on the website and you're wanting to see how much the cost of an education is, you're going to see something around 50,000 US dollars for the full year. Don't get sticker shock. I pinky promise you're not going to be paying that much. Because we're working with Sheena, we do offer exclusive international study abroad scholarships for students. I mean, the exact number I can't remember at this moment, but I mean, it's almost a 60% scholarship. It is fantastic. The price that you get for the private education, the meal plan, the residence hall, and everything. We also are very happy to welcome not only first year students that are going to be with us for the entire 4 years, but also transfer students that are going to transfer in after getting their associate's degree and want to complete the remaining 2 years at Franklin. I work with any and all students, and I'm very excited for the ones that are truly wanting to come to an area like Franklin and study with us. I do have my contact information here if you're interested. However, my best piece of advice is again, get into contact with Sheena and work with her because the process is so much simpler if you go through her. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kelsey. So with Franklin it's a bit different. So you have a wider range of options to choose from, but the sticker price is not the price that you pay. You get about approximately 60% off that sticker price. So that includes tuition and living costs, which will drop your cost down to approximately about 23,000 US dollars a year for both cost of living and tuition. And that comes with the option of living on residence. So just so you know, you can apply to any of these schools by the CupFest website, www.cupfestinternational.com. Take a look. You get more information on Kansas, Brock, and Franklin College. And then there's our apply tab on the website that you can apply to up to 3 schools. If we have waivers available, the team will let you know and we can get your application fee waived. So up to 3 schools, which includes these 3 here with me today by the CupFest website. If you want a more customized approach to your planning, you can work on the planner pipeline, which is the pipeline I work on. And you can visit the Student Center's website at www.thestudentcenter.net to learn more. I have some questions, so just a couple questions for each of you. I'm going to start first with Nick. You've been quietest the longest since your presentation. So I just want to reiterate for persons, I know that there are lots of changes to Canada, and just so that in line with those changes that we're talking about, if persons come to Kamusong for any of the diploma programs, are there specific programs that are PGWP eligible or that you would have identified, or those that are not? And by PGWP, I mean postgraduate work permit for those of you who may not know.
Absolutely. So we have just updated the list today. The list is camosun.ca/PGWP. So that's the list. It has a good number of programs. Most of them are certificates and undergraduate diplomas. A few of associate degrees, which are 2-year credentials, have made it onto the list as well.
Oh, great.
So yes, so arts, humanities, health sciences, natural sciences, sport and exercise, a few of the degrees made on the list, technology programs with exception of engineering, but engineering bridges are on the PGWP eligible list.
Oh, that's great too. Good.
Yes, so the codes are there, everything. Even one trades program made it on the list unexpectedly. Yeah, so a good number of programs. My finger got tired of scrolling the page. So absolutely, camosun.ca PGWP.
Nice.
.ca/PGWP. Yeah, thank you.
So for those of you navigating the colleges and polytechnic space, just be mindful that due to some of the changes that some programs are eligible for the postgraduate work permit. And luckily for Kansas, some of those programs that today are on that list, especially if you look at the bridging ones towards UBC going for engineering. So that's a great option for you to consider. There are a couple of associate degree programs also on there. So if you're thinking about this financially, if you only have 2 years, it could still work out quite smartly for you. So you can start with on that list and then apply afterwards. So remember, it's good most schools have their list published. This list is still somewhat fluid at this time, but keep abreast of those changes. Thank you. Another follow-up question. So just to confirm, if I do the engineering bridge at Camelson, how long would I have at one of the partner institutions afterwards?
Uh, engin Engineering Bridge accepts only students that have a Canadian accredited technology diploma.
Right,
So
okay.
if we start kind of looking at two alternative pathways, should I go to university for 4 years and become
Hmm.
a Bachelor of Engineering, or should I go to Camosa and do the technology program, then the bridge, then uh, it's a longer path, so significantly longer, but it's more affordable because it consists of several parts. So you do the technology diploma first. So technologist is somebody who works under an engineer. So usually in Canada, for one engineer, there are 5 technologists and 20 technicians. Technician is something like 6 months credential, and you do kind of manual labor. Then there's technologist, 2.5 year diploma program, and engineer is a bachelor degree. So you essentially, I don't want to compare it to becoming a doctor and a nurse because but it's somewhat kind of different programs. So this bridging program allows you to convert. It's math heavy. Our engineering technology diplomas are not. It's only math at kind of all level, kind of grade 11 math. But the bridge, because of the nature of the engineering, you kind of catching up on math and physics
Hmm.
and calculus and things. And when you end up, by the way, it's one of the few competitive programs at Camosun College. And if you end up in this program, you just need to kind of pass with a minimum score, and then you automatically get admission into the target university. So if you pass everything and with specific grades, I believe it's a C plus or something, you automatically get the spot in that mother university because essentially that's a partnership with those specific universities. So you end up in year 3. So it's a long
Oh.
answer to your short question. You end up after a year of bridging, you end up in year 3, and then you complete year 3, year 4. So it's way too long because if you start at Camosun, a technologist, so it's a 2.5 years, then you do a bridge, that's already 3.5. Then you have additional 2 years, way longer than 4 years, but it's more affordable, especially if you immigrate in the middle.
Right, I get you. Okay,
So yeah.
so yeah. Well, thanks for that. So for that explanation, that breaks it down quite well. So I guess it depends on someone's circumstances and how they view it. Is either a long game play, but there are benefits in between, or if they want it straight, but then the cost is higher up front. So you got to really weigh that in the bridge. But you did say that the engineering bridge are on the PGWP list, or did I hear incorrectly?
The engineering bridge itself is on PGWP. It's an eligible program. The
Hmm.
diplomas currently are not. Uh,
Hmm.
as we know, immigration is working on expanding. Like recently in December, they have added early childhood education.
Right.
And so we did add early childhood education on our list as well. So we're hopeful either the college will change the curriculum of the program and undergraduate technology diplomas become available, or so far it's only the bridge it's eligible. But also just
Hmm.
briefly on this topic, just to confuse everyone, we have another program which is called engineering 1 year transfer, which, so if somebody did choose not the bridge but the 4 year kind of straight to university, we have a version of this where you can do, particularly for University of Victoria, you can do a year at Camosun of engineering transfer certificate, and then it's if you maintain a certain GPA, it's a guaranteed admission into University of Victoria year 2. It's not
Okay.
the bridge, because a bridge is a math top up essentially.
Right.
That
Yes.
is first year 1+3 kind of arrangement with UVic for somebody who decided and budgeted for 4 years. So doing that transfer, 1 year transfer certificate, you are able to save only difference of the first year and in
Which is still a
tuition.
big difference when you look at the cost, though.
Of course, yeah.
It's a
And
major. Yeah.
And starting next year, in British Columbia, they are planning to all public universities. They are planning to make the first year of engineering identical. So students will be able to kind of transfer back and forth, and it's going to be universal kind of. And Camosun is ready for that right now. This guarantee certificate is only for University of Victoria. In the future, we're expecting this will be to all public universities, top universities in Canada, in British Columbia. To students will be able to transfer.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for that information, Nate. That was very informative. Sarah, I'm going to come to you. So I just want to reiterate the accounting and the nursing. So just so that I heard correctly, the accounting is 3 years or
No, it's a 4-year program.
is a 4-year program.
But students can transfer some credits if
Mhm,
they complete any diploma, advanced diploma, then they can
mhm,
transfer some credits to Brock,
mhm,
and the
mhm.
maximum number of credits they can transfer is 7.5 credits, which
Right,
is usually equivalent to 1.5 years. So that's why in my slide I put 5 to 6 term, which
right.
means that's the remaining time that students will have to continue to study at Brock to get the bachelor degree of accounting.
Which will then make it either 2.5 or 3 years,
Yes, yes,
right?
two and a
Which
half or
is
3 years.
so for those persons who are attending state college or community college, this is ideal for them because they can still the benefits of having their associate degree, and then they can transfer over to Brock, saving approximately about a year and a half in Brock's tuition. Then they only have to cover about 2.5 to 3 years if they look at it. I know that universities are not quite currently under the same regulations, so your LPG you're all eligible, all your programs are eligible for the postgraduate work permit. So that's one
That's
less
right.
one less worry that you don't have. So that makes it great. But you are definitely a really great option for anyone that is taking the associate degree program at their local community or state college in a related field, because obviously it will have to be equivalent to accounting.
Yeah. And I think this is even better for Caribbean students because many Caribbean students are struggling with CAPE because
Mhm,
as you may know that Brock University and I believe most of Canadian universities will require CAPE at least Unit 1
mm,
to be admitted to any of
mhm,
our bachelor degree.
mhm,
Um, and many Caribbean students didn't have math at Cape level. And you can see so many of our students cannot
mhm,
get the offer letter just because they didn't have math
mhm,
at Cape level.
mhm,
So this is like the transfer options actually beneficial for students who doesn't want to do CAPE. They can go straight to an associate degree, and then from a diploma or advanced diploma, they can transfer to Brock, and we can look at their diploma, and we will tell them how many credits they can transfer.
right.
And the number of credits transfer students will know it by the time they get the offer letter. So they don't have to confirm anything. They don't have to pay any deposit to know how many credits they get from Brock.
Oh, well, that's great because sometimes a lot of schools require you to have done that so they know in advance, which is also a cost saving factor too. So that is
Exactly.
really great to know. Are they so that takes care of the accounting, but for the nursing, are there particular requirements that people need to be mindful of if they are already if they're looking to come into this program, which is like a dual bachelor's and a master's all in one?
Yeah, so as I just mentioned, for the concurrent nursing program, there are quite a few different requirements. But the first and foremost is that the student need to have a bachelor degree, has completed a bachelor degree. It can be anywhere, but the student need to complete a bachelor degree, and then they need to have some specific subjects that is leading to the nursing program. I can't remember correctly, but something related to medical sciences. I can send you the list, but those are some specific like requirements that we will ask for students who want to transfer to our concurrent nursing. But basically, like I can see right now at Brock, there are so many international students coming to concurrent nursing just because it's short, it's simple, and many students didn't have Canadian background and now they want to come here to study nursing.
So, you will say one of the added, but so somebody might ask, if I have a bachelor's already, I want to do nursing. What makes your program special? I heard you alluded to the Canadian experience. So, what would be some? What do you think are the main talking points when speaking to persons that may want to consider this? Just to
Yep. So
reiterate them.
yeah. So again, the first thing is that it's short. It's just 20 months. It's
20
only
months.
5 terms. So students will just spend I think 2.5 years, and
Mm-hmm.
they will get a bachelor and a master of nursing. That's the first
Mm-hmm.
thing. And then they still need to have some mandatory work placement,
Mm-hmm.
um, and that will give them some work experience. And then after that, they will be able to apply for the exam to be an RN or RPN in Canada.
Okay, that's great. And 20 month, 6 terms, that's not too bad, honestly. So, so there's required courses that they need to take as part of their undergraduate to make themselves eligible. So, it would be good to definitely get that list. So if this is a good option for you, whether if you're, so first two things, so some cost-effective pathways that brought one through the accountant, especially if you are coming from state or community college from your in your country, so you have your 2 year diploma or your associate degree. And I just want to clarify, across the Caribbean, not many people have, yes, state colleges and community colleges, but there's some countries in particular, for example, in Guyana, they have there's some persons who might go to the University of Guyana and do their 2 year diploma. Or will you take that too into
Yeah, like
consideration?
we can have a look and we
Mhm.
can decide based on case by case basis.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Yeah, so those are some of the questions that you might tend to get. And definitely last and not least, Kelsey, I know, and I know you did mention that you are a good option for transfer students. Can you break down how that process will work for them, and then how long would they take? Because some students come in thinking that you're going to take all their credits, but that's not always the case. So how, in the case of Franklin, how does it work?
So again, the transfer credit process can vary by student, by what institution they're previously at, and the grades that they've received. However, very similar to what they do at Brock, I'm very upfront, and I am more than happy to do like a credit transfer evaluation before a
Mhm.
student commits to Franklin. I truly believe that you should have every single option known to you before you commit. So that's something that our registrar's office can do really well and very quickly. Um,
Mhm.
but for like a general idea, you want to make sure that you're studying at an accredited institution in the country that you're in. We're looking for grades that are usually the American C or above.
Mhm.
Um, and hopefully you're transferring it into the program that you're wanting to study in at Franklin. So if you're studying a program that we don't offer, for example, we don't offer architecture. If you try to transfer those credits, it's not really going to go through. But if you're trying to
Mhm.
transfer accounting courses, most of them should transfer through, and we can sit and have a meeting and walk through what your remaining years might look like.
Another question to you. So I know you consider you're a private liberal arts college. No, can you break that down into terms? What does that mean? Because when
Mhm.
people hear arts, there's an assumption as the kind of arts,
Mhm.
artistic fine arts type college. Can you break
Mhm.
that down for us?
So our curriculum pulls from multiple different disciplines, regardless of what you are studying. So going back to an accounting student, yes, you will be taking very math-focused courses. However, because the liberal arts curriculum will pull from different disciplines, you will also learn to take public speaking courses and how to present yourself at things. You'll maybe take business courses and something that will tie in together with your accounting major, and different things like that. One thing is like a physical education course. We truly believe that there are so many different ways to learn inside and outside of the classroom. So instead of taking just a straight mathematics accounting degree, you're pulling from different disciplines, trying to find different ways into how the world works, essentially. Um, and then when it's like public versus a private college, it mostly just has to do with the funding of where we are founded on. So we're very, very happy that we've got some great foundations, grants, private donors that are contributing to the college, and is a substantial reason as to why we are heavily investing in the international students to recruit and bring them to our campus and bring this amazing new perspective to our little globe right here.
Thank you for that. So that means then if I wanted, say I wanted to study say business, not sure what type of business I want to study, but I also had an interest in art. Would I be able to mix that at Franklin?
That is absolutely perfect. That is the type of student that we actually look for, is a student who is interested in a few different disciplines. I see students all the time that are combining majors into something that they really like. I myself was very interested in international education and nonprofits. And so with my liberal arts degree, I was able to pull from different international affairs, international studies courses, but also how to maintain a nonprofit and a nonprofit entity. So we get students that do something like that all the time, where you pick and choose from different programs to really make your own. And you work with advisors your entire
Right.
4 years to help walk you through this.
So that sounds like it would take some maneuvering, but your system and your setup makes it can accommodate it. So if you have, because you know you have students who say I want to do dance, but I also like science, or um, I like business, but I like music. So you know there's always those combinations. So approximately 23,000 US dollars a year, folks, at Franklin College via the Student Center. Just apply via the Cup Fest. You can take a look at all of these schools. I want to take this time to thank you guys for your time. Sorry for the late start. We had some little technical glitches here this evening. But this has been our first webinar for the year, and equally grateful to all three of you for joining me this evening. Those who are in and out of Zoom, thank you. Those online, thank you so much for joining in. Now, this is the first of many that are coming. Next week, we're going to have a cut fast supply session. That one is not streamed, but you can join us in the meeting room and discuss all the schools on the Cut Fest directory and see which one might suit you. That starts at 6. And then we are coming back with our Cut Fest education fairs in February, stopping in Barbados and moving on to Guyana and then ending off in Jamaica. One day each in each country. So Barbados is the 12th at the Lloyd Erskine Sanford Center. Guyana is a Saturday on February 15th, right after Valentine's Day at the Georgetown Marriott in Georgetown, Guyana. And in Jamaica, we are at the Pegasus in Kingston, and we are there on the 18th of Tuesday from 3 to 8 p.m. More details will be available via our website and our social media pages. So keep your tabs up, but we have a couple more webinars to come your way. And so I ask you to tune in, keep abreast, and again, you can apply to Franklin Brock Arkansas via the Best Apply system. Thank you, folks, for joining me this evening. We'll be back, our scholarship webinar, February 5th. I might be calling on some of you again to come and join me, but I appreciate your time this evening and have a good evening.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.